Sapphire is basically trying to do her big one, okay? She's trying to make up for the fact that she didn't fight E.T. and Rolly, and basically tries to sling Mariah in the water. But you know what? I'm so happy because Mariah took her. She got her back, girl. Woo. I'm sorry.
Dark side, light this bitch up.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Chrissy, and we are back for another discussion. Alright, so before I get into it, I just want to thank everybody who has watched any of my videos. I would love for you guys to extend your support by sharing, and subscribing. And whether you like it, whether you don't, whether you agree or not, please comment below. Let's get into it. Alright, so today we're going to be kind of doing a Baddies review, but as you guys know, I don't talk about Baddies every single week. I only talk about things that I feel like is a little bit of a deeper moral that we really need to discuss, right? So today we're talking Baddies Fake Friends edition, and we about to run this last episode down. All right. In the episode before last, we're going to give a little bit of, background to it for anybody who hasn't watched it. But let's get into it. So, last episode, we kind of ended off with Sapphire. So basically, Suki and Rolly ended up getting into a fight because she did not like the way that they were acting towards Smiley after she got out of the hospital. Okay, so basically E.T. pours water on her. Natalie's not letting her out. Rolly is trying to get to her, and Suki is just basically saying that this is too much. Okay, so Suki and Rolly end up getting into a fight, and during that time, E.T. also, they're fighting, they're arguing and things like that. The whole time Sapphire is trying to push Suki back, and it's kind of, to me, taking a little bit more of Rolly's side and kind of saying you're tripping, you don't know, blah blah blah, which I understand that Suki had not been there for a lot of the episodes. However, it really doesn't matter what happened in the house. It still does not excuse that behavior. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. It doesn't excuse it. The way that they were acting towards Smiley after she got out of that hospital was absolutely unacceptable. Okay, so that's basically what Suki was saying, right? So Sapphire is not hearing it, so then they're arguing back and forth after they already got into their fight, did their one-on-one. Okay, and then E.T. goes and throws water on Suki. So now at this point, I feel like this is where Sapphire, if you wasn't going to jump in before, this is where you're supposed to jump in now. Especially if it's a case where Suki can't get her lick back. It's 2-on-1, and then you still on Suki trying to push her back and pushing up on Suki. I honestly felt like if Suki felt completely attacked in that whole scene and that whole instant, she absolutely 100% had a reason to feel that way. Okay, it was really kind of hard to watch. It made me angry because I'm like, friends don't do that. Now, just a little story time, baby. Okay, so when me and my best friend had first moved back here from our respective states where we went to our respective HBCUs, right? We were not used to the Detroit culture anymore. If anybody's from Detroit, if you know, it's aggressive here, okay? So we wanted to go to this one restaurant. They had this lamb chop special. And we're just trying to go get a little piece of nibble. It's a weekday. We're not even knowing that it's about to be a whole turned up party, right? So we get to this club. We're trying to get us something to eat. Ends up being this big old party. And this girl was like in her section and she was just kind of going off the rails, like she was really drunk and stuff like that. So instead of me and my best friend like trying to like have an argument with her because she was like bumping our table and stuff, we really tried to extend ourselves to her, get her water, something like that, napkins and things, just trying to make sure she was okay because her friends could not keep control of her, and really her friends was like drinking too. They all kind of seemed young or whatever. So us being the TTs or whatever, right? So being a nice TT, all of that is happening. So ultimately the girl ends up like getting into it with the people that she was there with, and would you know, ends up like fighting with them. So then she's fighting with these girls and she starts getting carried out the club by security. So she's getting carried out the club by security. My best friend, we're like standing, or our table was kind of like in the walkway where she was getting pulled out of the club, and they had her like up, like holding her, and she just goes and like punches my best friend in the face, like literally just out of nowhere. And my best friend, she kind of tall or whatever. So as soon as she realized what happened was about to come for the girl, the security guards just like tackled her like she was a man or something. I'm like, okay, this is out of line, right? But I'm completely clear. Now this girl done put her hands on my best friend. She did not put her hands on me, but you better know the next person who put their hands on her, it was me. Okay, so now this was years ago. I really don't fight or anything, but at the end of the day, like I had to get my lick from my best friend. And it is what it is. You get what I mean? And at the end of the day, like we never got in trouble. They let us come back into the club to get our stuff and stuff because they already knew we did not start anything. The girl, she was really belligerent, out of control. She was punching people on the way out. But the moral of the story is I'm going to get my lick from my best friend. Like, what you mean? There's no way that you could really call her your sister and your best friend and allow that girl to go and throw water on her and you don't do anything. So I feel like the only way that she really, and I'm glad that Bobby kind of like called her out on it, like you fake or whatever, because I feel like the only way she could have redeemed herself is by running on that sprinter and handling that business. But that she did not do. Okay. So they get on the sprinter, and here comes Sapphire, I feel like trying to plead her case with the rest of the girls so that she can have somebody on her side after she just got gone off on by Bobby. And then here comes Mariah. Now Mariah done pulled up Suki's OnlyFans, showing pictures of her JJ on live TV and gives it to Rolly. Now Rolly's just like, I see this, or whatever, which I'm glad that Zeus Network had the common decency to blur it out. But it's the fact that you did that, Mariah. Like, you really thought it was cute, you thought it was sweet. But see, one thing you forgot about them girls is that they fake. Fake friends is the name and the slogan for the day. Okay? So them same girls, the same way that you go and try to out that girl is the same thing that's going to come back on you. Okay, you thought that was cute. It was foul. It's foul. And that's why they doing you how they doing you now. Okay? But the thing is, when she did that then, it wasn't no problem because everybody had an issue with Suki. Even Natalie had a couple things to say because she's not just gonna go sit there and be quiet. Even though it's like, you have absolutely no issue with Suki. Why do you have anything to say? Because you're Natalie and your chin won't allow your mouth to stay closed, obviously. Alright, so moving on. So then they go back and they're talking like by the riverside, look really nice over there and really calm and peaceful. But of course they had to crowd it with all their bullshit and their drama. Okay, so they're talking about the situation. It's Mariah, E.T., Rolly, and Natalie, and Sapphire. Now, this is my issue. Once again, Sapphire, you are canoodling with the ops. You're canoodling with the opposition, which is why Suki can't mess with you. You sitting up here having conversations and kikiing and kakan with E.T. and Rolly. Like, how? There's no way. There's no way that you could call that girl your friend and your sister. Okay, so during this time, Mariah mentions her issue with Sukiyana. So her issue with Sukiyana originally is that Suki and Sapphire, when they first came into the house, helped her to get her chain back for Smiley. Okay, and so then randomly Suki goes and tweets on Twitter and says, well, formerly known as Twitter, I guess now X or whatever, and says that she feels like Mariah should go home because, you know, she feels like Mariah should go home. So in the end, so then Mariah's like, why? And she was like, because we got your chain back. Like, we had to help you get your chain back. I feel like you should go home. Which I understand where it is that you're coming from, Suki, but at the same time, I feel like don't help somebody to get their stuff back and then turn around and tell them that they need to leave. Don't try to do that and then tell another person that they're bullying and then turn around and bully this person, because who asked you? That's not even like a question to be smart, but my question is like, who asked you that question for you to come and be like, I think this person should go home? I really do not feel like anybody was like, Suki, who should leave? I feel like it was just like Suki was just being a mean girl. Let's just call it what it is. She was being a mean girl, speaking her mind, and that's what was on her mind. Do I feel like she right? I do feel like Mariah is giving a tad bit of a follower, but I just feel like it's unwarranted. Like, for what? For what? Especially if you helped her to get the chain back. Like, she got the chain back, but now you mad because you helped her. You shouldn't have helped her in the first place. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So basically, they're having this conversation. Sapphire says that she wants to have a conversation with Suki, and that and Rolly also says that she wants to have a conversation with Suki at some point as well. Um, Obviously, they ended up saying that Suki does not want to have a conversation with Mariah. So Mariah was like, I'm just going to keep it where it is. But during that time, she did say that the network could not pay her enough to fight Sukiyana. Now, I feel like that does allege that she kind of wants to fight her, but she's basically saying, I'm not going to fight her because I'm not being paid enough to fight this girl. Okay? Like, so boom. Right? So, but once again, all of this is okay when they all sitting up here talking and canoodling about Suki just a couple hours before. Okay? So then they cut to Suki and Sapphire having a conversation. Now, in this conversation, Sapphire sitting up here apologizing to Sapphire, basically saying, I apologize for how that made you feel. That is one of my least favorite apologies, and that's an apology that will get you sent right back out the door, because don't apologize for how I feel. Apologize for what you did. Okay? Please do. Because don't play them games with me. I don't like to do the little small colloquialisms and the verbiages that, you kind of trying to sneak some undertone meaning in there. Like, let's call it what it is. And so I'm glad that Suki called her out for exactly what the situation was. Obviously, they ended up kind of making up, but Suki was kind of still like, I'm not feeling you. You didn't stand up for me and fight for me when these girls were ganging up on me. And I feel like her main reason is because she does not want to burn her bridges, because Sapphire is so thirsty to try to get on him the next season. And I don't think that Suki is coming back to the next season. So because of that, Sapphire got to do her big one now. And she does not want to burn those bridges because she feels like House 8 is the place to be. Okay, excuse me if I'm sniffing. I just got a little bit of allergies and things like that. So, yeah. So then next, we cut to the next episode, and they're at the club. So basically, they get to the club. Suki is there, and she mentions to Sky that she heard that Mariah is trying to fight her. right? And like she trying to basically slide on Mariah too. Okay, I'm adding that in there, but they did kind of allude to that, so it kind of seems like, oh, she said she want to fight me, I want to fight her too, basically. Okay, so then also Suki and Rolly end up making up, which I could never. This girl done push up on you. She's already shown herself to be disgusting, which is the reason why you had to call the whole situation out in the beginning. Because the way that she was acting was absolutely unacceptable. But then she turns around and puts her hands on you. Baby, we will never be friends. We're going to be forever. Okay? For the rest of your life. It's up. Maybe that's the grit Detroit in me. But I'm sorry. For the rest of your life, it's up. I could never. No, thank you. So basically, they do this or whatever. They show the little party scene. Cuts to the next day, and now House A is in the they having a little powwow, whatever. Okay, so during this powwow, Rolly basically it's okay. So it's Rolly, there's Sapphire once again, Natalie, and then there's ET. Okay, and so here come ET hobbling out like, girl, bye. So Rolly basically tells everybody in House A that she and Suki made up. Now, in the confessional, ET seemed like she was bothered, okay? And then she was basically like, well, I don't have a problem with Rolly and Suki making up, but Suki didn't come and speak to me though, so I can basically handle my own. And my thing is, baby, why do you think that Suki would ever come and speak to you? Like if her and Rolly, they actually fought or whatever, but you just got into it for what reason? Because she said that you shouldn't have threw water on Smiley? Or because you were being Rolly's pit bull is what it seems like to me. Okay? Chip tooth pit bull is what it's giving. And then lo and behold, because we're talking about fake friends, Rolly fake self don't care about the fact that you put your relationship with Suki on ice. She don't care about the fact that you came and did your Pitbull show for her. She don't care about none of that. She don't care about the fact that you made yourself look like a complete asshole on national television for her. She turned around and got back friends with Suki. And I ain't never seen her do that before. But you want to know why I think Rolly did it? It's because Suki has a name in the industry, and Rolly is a professional dick sucker and dick rider. You would think that she wouldn't ride so much dick as big as she was, but she's a professional at it. She's a pro. She did it to Krishan. She did it to Stunner. And now she's doing it to Suki. You ain't never seen her make up with nobody that quick. Ever. So, but this is the thing. Rolly is fake. And E.T., you following her around, but I guarantee you the way that things ended between Rolly and Slim is how things are going to end between you, except for you probably going to be the one that want to fight Rolly. But see, this is why you don't get involved in other people's mess and drama, because they'll turn around and become friends, and now you on the outs with Suki. And Rolly not. And you only on the routes with her because of Rolly. Let's be real here. Fake. Okay, so in this time, we also learned that Suki and Sapphire are still not talking. And then Sapphire so then they get to talking about, what happened at the club. And then Rolly goes and basically says, well, Suki says she got a problem with you. Which I feel like Rolly ugly so she is just always so happy to try to point out when somebody, like, she just loves that. I feel like she lives for that. It's absolutely ridiculous. So Mariah's like, okay, it is what it is. And then you hear E.T. in the back like, I think the feeling's mutual. That's how you know E.T. still don't like Suki. She don't like Suki. She don't like the fact that Suki and Rolly are friends. She feel away, but she not going to say it. She not going to say it because she knows she look dumb for being Rolly's pitbull. I think she knows that on the inside of her spirit. deep on the inside. Okay. So basically Rolly and Sapphire get to check in Mariah, like, yeah, you why do you have an issue with her? And so Mariah is basically like, it started off with the whole she should go home thing, and then when they were at the Caribbean restaurant, when Natalie and Scotty were getting into it, Natalie kind of like reached out for validation from Mariah, and because Mariah was like, yeah, that's weird, Suki basically told Mariah to stay out of it, which I still feel like is hypocritical because Suki, it's not your business either. Everybody seems as though they have been getting in other people's business. You get what I'm saying? And so it's crazy to me because I feel like it's very hypocritical of everybody, but we move on, right? Okay, so Mariah, yeah, so like when it comes to Rolly was in Smiley's business because you mad that she had a seizure and it didn't look like your daddy's. E.T. in Rolly's business, Suki in everybody's business. So it's just like, why do you guys like to pick and choose who you want to target for being in business and say, oh, don't mind anybody else's business? Y'all just some bullies and want to find somebody to target week by week, okay? And then they tried to say that she wanted to plot on Suki, which I really don't find that to be true. I remember her saying in the last episode they couldn't pay me enough to fight her, but I don't think that she was trying to plot on her. However, I will say this. When they were all not cool with her, Mariah was so happy to be on the bandwagon. Let's rewind to when she showed that video of her vagina. I'm like, Mariah, what would make you go all the way to her OnlyFans? I think you got to pay for that type of content, baby. And went all the way over there and got her stuff and tried to show her vagina all over television. You've got to have some real pressure. And you thought you had people behind you like you did when the whole stuff happened with Rolly, but then you realize, oh yeah, these girls are fake. They're fake. They're fake. Nobody's your friend. That's why you just need to go ahead and do right by people. Then things work out better for you. Okay? I think that this is Mariah's karma for jumping on the bandwagon. Do I think that she deserves what she's getting out of this? No, but they typically don't. Okay? So moving on, Mariah basically goes and tries, while she's trying to defend herself, she says that the whole house has been talking about Rolly, which, baby, it's on TV. That is what's been happening. But you guys want to try to pick out the certain things that Mariah says. And see, that sets Rolly off, and Rolly ends up trying to fight Mariah. Okay? So that whole situation happens. Rolly and Mariah clearly have beef now. We fast forward to them getting on the water rafts, okay? So when they're getting off of the water rafts, I mean, it looks like everybody was having a lot of fun until it was time to get off of the water rafts. Obviously, they all had been consuming a lot of alcohol, per the usual, in pure Zeus fashion. In pure Lemuel fashion, they gonna get them turned up to film because they want them to show they complete utter ass. Okay? So they're getting off of the water rafts, and basically Suki and Sapphire confront Mariah on everything that happened. Now you got Biggie is on the boat with Mariah, and Biggie did not want to get involved. She like, I am not involved in this, okay? Like, and I am not mad at her because when everybody was targeting her and Biggie, nobody stood up for her, especially not no Mariah, baby. When they were her and Smiley, nobody stood up for her, so I'm not about to sit up here and be your champion now. I'm sorry. But the one thing I didn't like about what happened with Biggie is it does seem as though she relishes opportunity, like she relishes situations where other people are the target when she's experienced being the target before. And it's like, don't be kikiing and cacaing about the shit because you could easily end up being the target again. One false move, they already don't like you. I don't care how much they act like they like you, they don't like you. One false move is gonna be you. So don't be sitting up here kikiing and cacaing. That's the problem. That's the problem. Okay. So then Sapphire is basically trying to do her big one. Okay. She's trying to make up for the fact that she didn't fight E.T. and Rolly, and basically tries to sling Mariah in the water. But you know what? I'm so happy because Mariah took her. She got her back, girl. Woo. I'm sorry. But she swung her right in that water with her. Shaya. I was like, yes. Yes, Mariah. You go ahead and you use that skinny girl strength. Because people be trying to think just because you skinny and you small, you not strong. But there's a lot of girls that skinny, that strong as hell. She snatched Sapphire right on up in that thing, and them little pigtails and them crimps came right on off Sapphire's head. Now, see, that's exactly what you get. Because Sapphire, my question to you is, why didn't you fight Rolly and E.T.? You had plenty. My thing is, when you got on that sprinter, you should have handled the both of them. That's the way that you could have been able to, redeem yourself to me. Really the only way. But then all of this time, even if you don't want to basically fight Rolly because her and Suki made up, E.T. is still a problem. You should have been fired off on E.T. because E.T. is the one who jumped in. So it's like a friend for a friend. But you don't want to fight E.T. But you want to fight Mariah. That's why I'm happy. I'm happy that she slung her right on up in that water in there with her. And it's so crazy because she chose Mariah because she was small, but came into the house defending Mariah because she's small against Smiley, saying that Smiley was bullying her. That to me just seems like a whole bunch of hypocrite stuff, because it's like, babe, there's two people in particular that should have been on your list before Mariah. Okay? But that's that fake stuff. You want to take the fake way out to make it seem like you're a good friend, when really what makes you a good friend would have been handling that other business, not this business. Okay? But see, this is something that I feel like Suki needs to figure out again, because we're talking about fake friends. Suki, she on the raft talking about something. Now, I did think this was kind of funny. She was like, you need to find out who your friends are to Mariah. And Mariah was like, who are they? And she was like, it ain't me, but you need to find out. Now, I did find that to be entertaining. However, Suki, you need to find out who your real friends are too. You do. Because see, Suki asked a very important question that I think that she needs to not ask Mariah, but ask herself. She said, why does Mariah feel comfortable enough to tell my best friend that you want to fight me? You need to ask yourself that. Why does somebody who wants to fight you feel comfortable enough to be able to say that in your best friend's presence? More than likely because your best friend was talking mess too, which is what happened, which is what Mariah was trying to tell Suki, okay, which is the reason why another reason why I think Sapphire slung her off that slung her into the water, because she don't want Suki knowing that she was really talking mess about her. But that's what happened. That's what happened. You was talking with the ops, and as long as everything was up, it was up. And everything was cool to say all of this stuff. And then as soon as Rolly got back cool with Suki, because Rolly, obviously, y'all is munching on her behind. So, as soon as she get back cool with Suki, now it's not okay to talk about Suki. You know what I'm saying? Now we're going to target you because you said something about Suki while we were saying something about Suki. Let's be real about it. You know, like, that's just what it is. Sapphire is fake, and Suki, you need to figure that out sooner rather than later. Okay? Because one thing's for sure, would nobody ever feel comfortable to come and talk about my best friend to me? Because, baby, that's like talking about me to me. And we might just have it out. And even if it's a case where there's like a mutual friend, and then like you're a mutual friend and maybe like two other people, like you have a friend that doesn't like another friend or something like that. I've been in that position as well, like two friends that fell out, you're still a mutual friend or something. Whenever they try to talk about that other friend, it's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that. That's between y'all two. That don't have nothing to do with me. But there's no way that I'm about to sit up here and listen to somebody badmouth my friend and say that they want to fight them. That's crazy to me. Like, no. So the answer to your question, Suki, is because Sapphire's fake, babe. So while you trying to tell, you know, Mariah and figure out who her real friends are, you need to figure out who your real friends are as well. Okay? So, moral to the story, like, let's talk about all the fake friends, okay? Because Rolly, she was fake to ET by making up with Suki, in my opinion. Because it's like, me and my girl don't like her. You being fake just by making up with Suki, because you only making up with her because she has some clout in the industry. And we all know that Rolly's trying to do her roly poly snack meals, you know, raps and things. Shout out to Pierre. I love Pierre. But yeah, so eventually though, I just feel like, just like Slim, she's gonna turn on ET. Rolly has a way of being able to just be an evil bitch, to where people try to kiss her ass and she somehow finds people to be her pit bulls, but then ends up turning on them because they expect the same type of loyalty from her that they gave her, and she's never going to do that. She's never going to do that, okay? And then I feel like ET is really starting to see it, you know, that she shouldn't have got involved in the drama. But I feel the wheels turning, and she just not there yet. Okay. Mariah, she had to figure out that everybody in House A was fake, because she thought that they were her friends when they was ganging up on Smiley, and looking at you now. You are the new Smiley. Ha ha. Right? That got kicked out and put in House B, which I feel like honestly is a better fit anyway. But whatever. Okay? Everybody in House A is fake. Let's just be clear. Everybody in House A is fake. Damn near the whole cast fake. But everybody in House A is fake. But an honorable mention is Scotty and Natalie. Because, you know, they didn't really get into it this season. Or they didn't get into it this episode. They was on the water raft together. But I just honestly feel like they're not friends. Not for real. And Scotty gonna continue to act like she friends with Natalie so she could get that check. And allegedly Lemuel. Okay. But at the end of the day, it's giving, I would never go out the country with any of these hoes. Okay. It's giving real Shanquilla Robinson vibes, because, like, Sapphire, what are you trying to do? Drown this girl? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You was just hemming a girl up about this girl chain, and now you trying to drown her? It's just ring around the fakesies, okay? And once again, they have tired your girl. But I hope that when y'all watch this show, when y'all watch this episode, y'all really start to see how fake of friends these girls are. And baby, if you see any of these similar attributes in somebody in your circle, I urge you to keep your eyes and ears open. Keep your head on the swivel, baby, because if anybody, I even had to tell my little sister this, if any of your friends come back to you telling you about how somebody said all these things about you. They don't like you. They want to fight you. Ask yourself what Suki just asked. How do they feel comfortable enough to talk about me to you? How did you get privy to all of this information? So y'all was just sitting up here having a powwow about me. You get what I'm saying? Understand that that's a fake friend. Understand that if somebody goes and you go and do like jump into a situation for somebody and they turn around and get right back with that person and be cool with that person again, now you on the outs. It's a fake friend. It's a fake friend. Understand that if it's a gang of girls that's willing to gang up on somebody, they willing to gang up on you because they got a gang mentality. So these are the morals to the story. But yeah, they all fake. It's weird. So yeah, that's all I really got to say about that one. I just want to thank all of you guys again for coming and watching my video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below on what you think about this video. And if you have any type of suggestions for me. Today was my first day using my mics. I'm really excited about that. Give me feedback on my mics if you can hear me, if you can't, any of that stuff. I truly, truly appreciate all of the support and love that I could possibly get from you guys. So continue to grow with me, and I'm going to continue to bring y'all content. All right. Until next time. Peace.